Well, on your screens now you can see that the J14 Girls Cox Quads is underway, kicking off. Queen's Park High School Rowing Club, number 233, Larry Jones, Erin Kendall, Darcy Smythe, Claudia Jackson and Cox by Sam Baker. Just moved through the first 250 metres. Second crew off, Peterborough City Rowing Club, number 234, Stratford upon Avon Boat Club, 235. This Queen's Park crew looking very smooth indeed. Nice sense of rhythm moving through the first 500. Now we've been talking about the wind, and in the last 10 minutes it's actually been swinging around quite a lot. It sort of swung around to the south a bit, and the water here at the finish has eased off considerably, and you can see, those of you who have access to the pictures up at the start, it really is quite smooth. So the poppeliness that we were talking about 15 minutes ago seems to have disappeared, at least for the time being, which will be good news for these competitors in the J14 Girls Cox Quads.
between the stations. This is so much easier than last year. Remember last year we didn't have gaps and it was one late and it was no, you were it was just chaos. It was just a complete nightmare. Everything was just firing down. Rapid climb. No gaps. But usually day one you get all right.
Well, the leading crews that we saw on the picture moving through the start zone some minutes ago, now approaching the last 250, and the batting order seems to be pretty much unchanged. We were talking a little earlier, Catherine, weren't we, about racing in a vacuum on these time trials. So when the crews are well spaced out, you've simply got to knuckle down, row or scull your own race, whatever the race plan was that your coach and the crew have discussed, because you can't sort of hinge your performance on anybody nearby.
That's right, Robert, and it's always an advantage, I guess, to go first, because you can push off, especially in a time trial, you can push off the other crews. But if you see that the other crews are maybe catching up with you, it becomes a disadvantage because you could get stressed or whatever and lose your focus.
So Queen's Park High School, the klaxon goes to signal the first of this very, very large field of some. I'll do my sums in a minute. I've got to do mental arithmetic. 43 crews are taking part in this time trial for the J14 Girls Cox Quads. And once again, the rules similar to the preceding event. The fastest 6 go straight into the A final and a crack at the medals. No semi-finals in this particular event. And Queen's Park will take some satisfaction at this early in the process at having recorded a slightly faster time than the second place crew, Peterborough City, who crossed the line there. Believe it or not, some 0.08 of a second unofficially between the times recorded by those two crews, but lots of time still to go, and another 40 crews to record their own time. So what we're announcing as finishing time is that anything can change over the next 20 minutes or so.
This is Grange School coming in for the last 10 strokes. Very well together, very good timing in the legs. Cox shouting, keep going, keep going.
That's good advice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, but let's not forget, you do get one or two crews who think the finish line comes early.
I've been that crew before, Robert, where our Cox told us down, so we all stopped rowing, and we actually realised we still had 150 metres left to go, and then we all had to clamber and start rowing again, and nearly lost our win.
Oh right, you did hang on to the win on that occasion.
Only just, yeah.
I'm assuming that wasn't the Under-23 World Championship final.
No, that wasn't. But I was in a Leander crew, which you'd think would know better, but these things happen.
.239 there, St George's College Boat Club A crew.
So the time trial seems to be spread over 3 lanes. Usually, you only do it over 1 lane, but I think they staggered it over 3 lanes. I guess that's just so if there's any overtaking or whatever, you don't have to actually move lanes. So there's good gaps. That's
a really good point, Catherine, because we're all familiar with the situations in head races over the championship course where everybody's trying to follow the similar race line, and we've all witnessed the calamities that can occur just under Hammersmith Bridge there. Bags of fun for the spectators, but not so great fun for the athletes concerned. But having this time trial here at National School spread over 3 lanes, it does mean that should there be some faster tail enders, then there's less likelihood of any fouling to consider.
This is Monmouth School, just crossing the line there. They look like they've had a great run, and maybe
Monmouth Girls' School. They've hit this event hard. Look, they've got 4 crews entered. That's their D crew that we've just seen finish.
A bit of side-by-side action as they finish there. These 2 crews just pushing each other on.
Yeah, 243 Walbrook Rowing Club A, just overhauling Warrington Rowing Club, 242.
Here's Abingdon Rowing Club, just coming in. Not to be confused with Abington School, which is obviously only boys.
Yeah, Abingdon with the green and yellow blades there, and as you rightly say, Abingdon School just next door, who compete with pink blades. And no prizes for guessing the next crew inside the last 150. It's Team Keen Sculling School with the Dayglow tops.
I think it's very clever to actually have tops like that. You know who you're cheering for.
Yeah, I mean, and it's great for commentators, isn't it? Being able to pick out club or nation colours at 100 metres on a dark night. Easily and quickly, it really does make life really quite straightforward. So Team Keen moving down into the closing stages, and then we've got a tense battle going on between the next 2 crews. Front loader there, number 246 Norwich School Boat Club. Just hanging on to the advantage, I think, ahead of, would that be Lee with the orange?
I think it is Lee. I think Lee are just coming in just to overtake them. By their numbers, it suggests that they started off a bit later and they've just managed to catch up with them.
Yeah, that of course is assuming. We're always assuming, aren't we, that they're starting off in numerical order, but as we witnessed in the girls' octuples, I think the previous event, there were some tail enders that had to start out of order for whatever reason. But yes, it looked as though Lee had a pretty good scull there. No finish time recorded yet on our system. Of course, just because you complete the course faster than the crew immediately ahead of you doesn't mean to say that you necessarily make an impact on the leading contenders.
This is Gordon's Boat Club B. Coming in for their final 15 or so strokes. The yellow and green. Being chased by Guildford in their bright yellow banana boat. almost as if they stopped too soon then. Or maybe not, actually, I think.
Of course, the other reason is not simply that crews make a mistake about where the finish line is. Sometimes some well-meaning supporters start sounding hooters and things, don't they, on the bank? And crews think that's the finish hooter, and then suddenly disaster occurs because they realise that they've stopped short.
Yeah, that is cruel to be doing that.
.252, Pangbourne College, just finishing there. Thomas Garnier, their headmaster, who's on the committee here at National Schools, he'll be optimistic about his crew's performance in this event.
The City of Bristol, 247, their B crew just coming in for the last few strokes, and they look like they're rowing very well. Look like they made some water there.
Got a little bit of a lag process going on our timing system at the moment. We'd like to be able to bring you some of the provisional results, particularly from these crews that have overhauled several of their neighbours on their way down the 2,000 metre course. But Lee in particular, I was hoping to see, having overhauled Norwich, who started some 3 places ahead of them. But I'm not yet able to give you a finish time for them, so we bide our time on that. Now here's a close one, 258, 259, Borlase B crew and Henley B crew. Neighbours geographically and neighbours right next to each other. Borlase from Maidenhead, Henley from Henley, just a few miles upstream. So a little bit of a local derby going on there, crossing the line together.
Here comes the A crew of Henley Rowing Club, crossing the line, just following their B crew. Looking very well together, looking really strong. Last few strokes. And very composed as they finish.
Yeah, and provisionally they rocketed right into the qualifying positions for the A final. That's the Henley A crew. They're looking, I'm sure, optimistic about a good strong weekend here. If my memory serves me correct, they won the Victor Ludorum last year, and the strength of their girls squad really is right up there at the top of the country.
And 266 here, making a finish in the green, yellow and black, looking very Jamaican. I'm a big fan of those lycras, those colours.
Yeah, 266 Walbrook there, followed in turn by Weybridge A crew, 269.
Barnell was in Wimbledon, just finishing off. Here comes Headington Girls' School in their last 100 metres or so. Again, looking very, very strong.
Yeah, going to be really interesting to see. I'm looking at the intermediate splits, and Headington has had some fantastic fast times through the early stages of this race. Are they going to dent the leaderboard? That's the big question. And the answer to my question is yes, they are going to dent the leaders. Headington School A crew moving right into a qualifying position unofficially. I need to stress this, but certainly one of the strongest crews on paper, and provisionally also on the water here this morning.
This is Sacred Heart School coming in for the last 15 strokes.
Yeah, we were talking a little earlier, weren't we, about the synchrony that's necessary for good quads, and having a little bit of difficulty keeping that rhythm together in the closing stages. Sacred Heart down to the line though. Well, in this massive entry of 43 crews, we've still got a dozen or so to complete the field, but the established favourites in J14 girls quads are looking good up there in the top positions, and I'll be able to confirm those once the field is complete and we've got official confirmation. Yeah, 272. That's a nice performance there for the city of Bristol, isn't it, Catherine?
Yeah, very synchronised, very set up. Yeah, looking strong as they finish there, and they keep racing. They went through the finish line quite a while ago, but
well, we were talking just now, weren't we, about crews that finish too early. Not usually a problem, is it? Crews that simply carry on once the hooter's gone.
No. Shows they've got a lot more left in the tank if they maybe a lot more tricks up their sleeve.
Claxon goes for Hinksey Sculling School B crew. And then the multicoloured delights of Grange School, their A crew. Grange rowing in their green blades, but a fantastic purple boat. So Molesey 275 finishing ahead of the Hinksey A crew 274. And then just a few stragglers to complete the field here in this J14 girls Cox quads. .251 Monmouth School for Girls there, E crew. Well, I remember their D crew coming down in the early stages, and I thought, yeah, they've loaded this race if they've got 4 crews taking part, but bringing 5 crews, that's something, Catherine.
It just shows the depth. Got a lot of girls to choose from, and it's nothing better than some good competition. We've got one crew left. Just King's School Ely.
Yeah, 237. I rather think they must have started out of order.
Yeah.
Either that or they had problems early on. But King's School Ely coming down to the line now to complete this 43 boat lineup in the J14 Gills Cox Quads. A few minutes time and then hopefully we'll be able to bring you the qualifying positions. 6 fastest go through to the A final, next 6 to the B final, and the third 6 to the C final.